Welcome to Levy Stories, where real life stories come to life. If you're fascinated by true, emotional, and surprising stories, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Your support motivates me to keep sharing these unforgettable stories with you. Now, let's dive into today's story. 3 long days had passed since Michael, my husband, departed for his business trip, leaving the house enveloped in an unsettling silence. The silence enveloped the room, a tension that felt almost palpable, as if the very walls were caught in a moment of anticipation, waiting for something forbidden to unfold. My 2 beloved sons, Andrew and Jake, were here by my side, yet their presence could not quite bridge the void that their father had left behind. Andrew, at 33, had always embodied a sense of responsibility, a steadfast presence that anchored our family in moments of uncertainty. He took charge of every detail, ensuring that everything flowed effortlessly, and he possessed a unique ability to transform even the most mundane tasks into something surprisingly engaging. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, allowing me to weave more captivating tales that stir the heart and ignite the imagination. Be sure to watch this video until the very end and show your appreciation by liking it. For the tale that unfolds is bound to captivate you in ways you never expected. Your support would be greatly appreciated. A simple tap on the like button would make a significant impact. Yet Jake, at the tender age of 21, possessed a uniqueness that set him apart. He was still on a journey of self-discovery, and it showed in the subtle nuances of his demeanor. That morning, I found myself captivated by the transformation in Jake. At the age of 21, he underwent a re-Andrewable transformation into an alluring young man. He had grown into a confident young man. It amazed me how time had flown since the days I carried him in my arms. I had always viewed him through the lens of innocence. Yet now, a more profound awareness began to awaken within me, revealing the man he had become. He was a man whose allure captivated me in ways I had never anticipated. It took me by surprise. In the midst of my daily responsibilities, nurturing the family, I had overlooked the swift passage of time and how he had blossomed into a young man. In an instant, he transformed from my innocent little boy into a captivating figure, exuding an undeniable allure that drew me in. Leaving me breathless, my gaze lingered on him more than I had planned, a thrill coursing through me as I recognized the depth of his transformation, not merely in appearance, but in the very essence of his being. As Andrew busied himself with his routine, tending to chores and casting occasional glances my way, Jake's presence felt more pronounced, as if he were savoring the moments we shared in the intimate confines of our surroundings. His playful teasing carried an undercurrent, a tantalizing tension that stirred both unease and an unexpected thrill within me, though I hesitated to acknowledge it. An undeniable attraction lingered between us, one that beckoned me closer despite the unspoken boundaries. The void left by Michael seemed to beckon Jake, drawing him in with an allure that was both captivating and unsettling. I couldn't help but feel a mix of fascination and dread at the implications of such a connection. As the day unfolded, an undeniable tension lingered in the air, hinting that our relationship had crossed an unspoken boundary. Jake had transcended the role of my son. He was evolving into a young man, wrestling with yearnings and feelings that stirred within me a mix of pride and unease. The sun dipped low in the sky, its warm golden rays spilling through the kitchen window, enveloping us in a soft glow as we shared the intimate task of preparing lunch together. As he skillfully chopped the vegetables, his muscles subtly flexing beneath the fabric of his t-shirt, I felt a wave of distraction wash over me, pulling me into a reverie filled with unspoken desires. There was an undeniable allure in witnessing his transformation, a captivating journey of growth that stirred something deep within me. Yet, there lingered a line that filled me with trepidation, one that I feared we might dare to traverse. A peculiar sensation enveloped me, a blend of exhilaration and unease that coursed through my veins, igniting a delightful shiver along my spine. I yearned to shield him, to lead him through the shadows. Yet the electric tension hung palpably between us. The silence that lingered between us turned the day into a heavy burden, each unvoiced thought a tantalizing ache in the air. The dawn broke with an unsettling brilliance, amplifying the charged atmosphere that lingered within the walls of the house. With Michael still absent, I found myself in the kitchen, the rich aroma of coffee mingling with an intoxicating sense of longing that stirred within me. With Andrew gone to work, the house felt charged with an unspoken tension, just Jake and I lingering in the quiet space between us. The silence enveloped us, as if the very walls were privy to the secrets we dared not voice. Jake had intended to spend the evening with friends, yet there was an undeniable allure in the way he lingered, suggesting he was reluctant to part ways just yet. He sat on the couch, the video game controller resting in his hands, yet his gaze drifted, lost in thoughts that hinted at something deeper. Occasionally, he would steal a glance in my direction, a fleeting spark in his gaze that left me both intrigued and unsettled. My heart quickened at the mere glance of your eyes, an irresistible connection that sent delightful tremors through my very being. As I glided through the kitchen, tidying up the remnants of breakfast, I felt Jake's gaze lingering on me, a silent intensity that stirred something deep within. He reclined on the couch, his eyes smoldering with an intensity that felt both scrutinizing and alluring. His gaze held an intensity that sent shivers down my spine, a reminder of the unspoken bond we shared, even as the lines between us began to blur in ways I never anticipated. The notion that he might be perceiving me as more than merely his mother lingered in my mind, stirring a blend of exhilaration and fear within me. "Hey, Mom, how about we indulge in a little game together?" he inquired with a nonchalance that belied the deeper, more compelling resonance in his voice, one that stirred something within me I couldn't easily dismiss. I paused, the invitation lingering in the atmosphere, a tantalizing challenge that beckoned me closer. A part of me yearned to dismiss him, to maintain the facade of normalcy. Yet another part, ignited by the thrill of his presence, longed to surrender to the temptation of saying yes, perhaps another time. I responded, striving to maintain my composure as I averted my gaze, immersing myself in the dishes to conceal the warmth flooding my cheeks. His gaze lingered, wrapping around us like a silken shroud, thickening the air with unspoken desires. I felt the air shift as he approached, and when I finally summoned the courage to glance back, he was there, striding towards me with an allure that left me utterly captivated. "Mother," he murmured, his voice taking on a weighty seriousness. "Shall we indulge in a conversation?" The words lingered in the air, thick with unspoken desires. I nodded slowly, a flutter of tension coiling within me. He drew nearer, and the warmth emanating from him enveloped me, a tantalizing reminder of his transformation into this irresistibly alluring figure. The intensity of the moment engulfed me, leaving me speechless. He paused mere feet from me, his gaze intensely probing mine, leaving me uncertain of his desires. "I've been reflecting deeply on us," he murmured, his voice barely above a whisper, "about the way everything has shifted. There's an undeniable tension that lingers in the air when we're together." My breath hitched in my throat, fear coursed through me, a shiver of uncertainty about the direction this conversation could take. Yet an undeniable allure tethered me to him, a magnetic bond that beckoned me closer. "I understand this might seem unusual," he murmured, drawing nearer, the space between us vanishing, "but my feelings are undeniable." My heart quickened as his fingers lightly grazed my arm, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and forbidden. The touch was innocent enough, yet the intensity of his gaze, the way his breath faltered, awakened a longing within me that I had long kept hidden from the world. "Jake," I whispered, my voice quivering with a mix of desire and caution. "This feels forbidden. We must tread lightly." The words tumbled forth, yearning to establish some distance. Yet beneath the surface, I sensed an undeniable urge to surrender and delve into the intoxicating bond that tethered us together. Jake hesitated, and in that fleeting moment, I caught a glimpse of longing shadowed by disappointment in his gaze. "I can't help but wonder if there's something deeper between us," he confessed, his voice low and intimate, as if sharing a secret meant only for her ears. I can no longer conceal the depths of my emotions. My heart raced, ensnared in a tempest of feelings that eluded my grasp. The boundary that once defined mother and son began to dissolve, leaving a haunting thrill in its wake. "I love you, Jake." Yet the weight of our bond feels so complex, I managed to say, striving to reclaim a semblance of normalcy. "We need to talk honestly. As your mother, it's important I understand what you're feeling and help you navigate it safely." Yet, as the words slipped from my lips, I became acutely aware of the delicate nature of my own limits. The air crackled with an undeniable tension, and I could sense the turmoil swirling in his gaze. He desired me, yet he was equally committed to honoring my boundaries. The tension between us was palpable, a dance of conflicting desires that neither of us dared to fully explore. The following day, in the aftermath of our intimate exchange, the air in the house was thick with an unspoken tension. With Michael absent, the air between Jake and me crackled with an electric tension, as if a storm was brewing just out of sight, ready to unleash its secrets. I immersed myself in preparing lunch, attempting to set aside the lingering thoughts of him that danced in my mind. As Andrew stepped through the door ahead of schedule, a rush of relief enveloped me, only to be swiftly overshadowed by the intoxicating tension that Jake's presence brought into the room. Andrew spoke of his day, and I endeavored to absorb his words, yet the allure of Jake's proximity was irresistible. As Jake reached for a snack, our arms grazed against one another, igniting a spark that coursed through my veins. It was forbidden, yet it ignited a fire within me that I couldn't resist. My heart quickened as Andrew slipped away to take a call, leaving me in the intoxicating company of Jake. "Mother, may we have a moment to converse?" he inquired, a sense of longing lacing his words. A wave of anxiety surged within me. I longed to push him away, yet he lingered too near, and the tension in the air was electric, igniting something forbidden between us. "Please, just listen," he implored, his gaze filled with longing. "Jake, we shouldn't," I said. I began to speak, but he moved in closer, an undeniable intensity emanating from him. "This doesn't have to be forbidden," he murmured, his breath warm against her ear. As the night deepened, I found myself struggling to dispel the lingering tension that wrapped around me like a forbidden embrace. The dinner unfolded like a delicate dance of ordinary moments, each bite steeped in an unspoken tension that lingered just beneath the surface. I aimed to immerse myself in Andrew's tales from the office, hoping to maintain a carefree atmosphere, yet my mind continually wandered back to the allure of Jake. The lingering tension from earlier permeated the room, thick and palpable, as if it awaited an exquisite revelation. After dinner, I proposed we watch a movie, yearning for a diversion that might draw us closer in the dim light of the room. Andrew's enthusiasm was palpable, yet Jake lingered in silence. His eyes locked onto mine with an intensity that stirred something deep within. I sank into the couch, attempting to maintain an air of nonchalance. Yet Jake opted to position himself intimately close beside me. The couch seemed to shrink around us, and with each fleeting moment, his warmth enveloped me, a magnetic allure I found increasingly difficult to deny. As the film unfolded, I sensed Jake's gaze upon me, a penetrating scrutiny that sent my heart into a fervent flutter. With each laugh that escaped my lips or every subtle movement I made, I sensed his gaze intensifying, a magnetic pull that was impossible to ignore. It was a blend of thrilling unease and captivating allure. I found it impossible to overlook the transformation he had undergone. The way the young man beside me had evolved into someone irresistibly captivating, both in appearance and in the depths of his emotions. "Mother," he murmured gently, shattering the stillness that enveloped them. "Yesterday lingers in my mind, a captivating memory that refuses to fade." I held my breath, acutely aware that this conversation was spiraling into uncharted territory. "What if we dared to delve into this uncharted territory that lies between us?" he whispered. "Just a taste." I turned to face him, my heart racing with an intoxicating thrill. "Jake, we shouldn't." Deep down, you sense the tension in the air, a whisper of forbidden allure that beckons us closer. "You are my beloved child." Yet, as the words escaped my lips, a hidden desire stirred within me, urging me to surrender to the allure of this moment. His gaze was intense, probing deeply into my soul, yearning for a glimmer of shared desire, a hint that perhaps my heart echoed his own. The film continued to unfold, yet my gaze had drifted elsewhere. My heart raced as Jake drew nearer, the air thick with unspoken tension. As the space between us diminished, the intoxicating scent of his cologne enveloped me, fresh and clean. It ignited a thrill that coursed through my body. Every fiber of my being urged me to retreat, yet my body, in its defiance, yearned to stay close. Ensnared in the intoxicating blend of desire and longing that I desperately tried to deny. "Please, Mom," he implored, his gaze filled with longing. There's an undeniable connection between us, something that transcends the boundaries of our roles as mother and son. His candidness left me breathless, stirring something deep within me. I found myself caught in a web of emotions, torn between the desire to protect him and the undeniable truth of our circumstances. His gaze held an intensity that was equally exhilarating and daunting. In that moment, I realized I needed to draw a line. Yet it felt as if I were attempting to restrain an overwhelming wave of desire. I began to find my balance. "We must have a conversation about this. We cannot overlook the boundary we are daring to tread, even in this moment." As the credits faded into darkness, a tantalizing blend of relief and unease enveloped me, stirring emotions I dared not fully embrace. I had skillfully steered the conversation away, yet the unspoken tension lingered heavily in the air, a tantalizing presence that refused to dissipate. That night, the silence between us wrapped around me like a thick fog, deepening the intensity of the moment. The electric tension that hung between Jake and me was palpable, and as I lay in bed, sleep eluded me while my thoughts danced in a whirlwind of desire. His words lingered in my mind, a haunting melody that stirred something deep within me. I lay restless, battling the whispers of my heart, attempting to dismiss it as a mere passing fancy, a fleeting desire that would surely dissolve with the passage of days. Yet, beneath the surface, I understood that the truth was far more intricate than it appeared. Our bond had deepened, and I could no longer ignore it. The following morning, I resolved to maintain an air of normalcy, despite the lingering tension that danced between us. I slipped into my favorite sweater, a comforting embrace against the chill of uncertainty. I resolved to navigate the day without revisiting the delicate matter, at least until I unraveled the tangled emotions swirling within me. I prepared an indulgent breakfast, believing that the enticing scent of sizzling bacon and fluffy eggs might dispel the weighty tension that lingered in our abode. Andrew descended the stairs, his eyes still heavy with sleep, a soft smile gracing his lips as he indulged in the meal before him. "Your presence is precisely what I longed for, my dear mother. You have a way of making everything feel right," he murmured, and in that fleeting moment, a gentle wave of solace washed over me. Andrew remained blissfully unaware of the unspoken tension that lingered just out of sight. While I held on to these fleeting moments of normalcy as if they were my only refuge, as Jake descended the stairs, his face bore an enigmatic allure, leaving one to wonder what secrets lay behind his gaze. His gaze locked onto mine, and an electric tension hung in the air, laden with all the secrets we dared not voice. My heart constricted with an intoxicating mix of longing and desire. I endeavored to maintain a playful air as I welcomed him into my presence. "Good morning," I whispered, my voice betraying a hint of vulnerability as I announced that breakfast was ready. I navigated the day, carefully avoiding the shadows of what had transpired, waiting to devise a plan to address the delicate situation. Andrew spoke of his day's ambitions, his voice light and carefree, oblivious to the simmering tension that lingered in the air, thick with unspoken desires. Jake, however, sat in silence, his fork tracing patterns in the food on his plate, his gaze lost in a world far beyond the table. The weight of his gaze lingered in the air, a silent tension that tugged at my heart, deepening the ache I felt for him. He had always been vibrant, brimming with energy and playful charm, yet now a veil of melancholy draped over him, leaving me in a state of perplexity. After breakfast, I proposed we stroll through the neighborhood, yearning for the crisp air to awaken our senses and ignite a spark between us. As we wandered together, I felt the electric pull of Jake's energy shifting around us. He would steal a glance in my direction, only to quickly avert his gaze, as if caught in a silent battle within himself. I understood that a conversation was essential, yet I was acutely aware of the delicate path I had to navigate. "Jake," I began, my heart racing with anticipation. "Yesterday was undeniably intricate." He paused, pivoting to meet my gaze, his eyes smoldering with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. "Mother, I refuse to act as if the incident holds no significance. I cannot simply overlook it." I inhaled deeply, my heart pounding with anticipation. "I understand," I replied gently, "but we must establish some limits. My heart is yours, now and forever. Yet the emotions we share linger in a realm we cannot fully embrace. I am your mother, and this is the bond that ties us together." His expression wavered, and I caught a glimpse of disappointment flickering in his eyes. "But what is the reason behind it? Why shouldn't we delve into the topic together? It feels undeniably right in its own way. It feels undeniably perfect. It feels so undeniably right." "Jake," I whispered, my voice quivering with unspoken desire. "But we must also consider the consequences that lie beyond this moment. I wish to preserve the delicate beauty of what we share. I wish to protect you, yet stepping over this boundary might alter our world forever." He took a step back, tension radiating from his stance, a silent battle of emotions swirling within him. "You're portraying me as if I'm some sort of deviant," he murmured, his voice heavy with unspoken feelings. I yearned to grasp the essence of this intoxicating sensation. I extended my hand, yearning to soothe him, yet I was acutely aware of the delicate boundary that lay before us. "You're not unusual." "Jake," I whispered softly, "as you navigate the complexities of maturity, it's not uncommon for emotions to intertwine in unexpected ways. While such feelings may arise, it doesn't imply we must surrender to their allure." We lingered in the stillness, words unspoken between us. The space that lay between us was thick with unspoken feelings, a weight neither of us dared to define. With each passing second in that charged moment, I felt my heart fracture a little more, acutely aware of the intricate web that love weaves. Let us pause for a moment, shall we? I suggested, my voice trembling with a mix of longing and restraint. It's a moment to reflect on the implications the present holds for our connection. I vow to remain by your side through every twist and turn that life may bring. He nodded slowly, a flicker of pain shadowing his gaze, revealing the depths of his unspoken emotions. The ache he experienced resonated deeply within me, shattering my heart as I realized that the bond we once cherished had become ensnared in a labyrinth of longing and uncertainty. I understand your perspective, he murmured, his voice laced with a hint of vulnerability. But the pain lingers. It seems unjust. It is unjust, I confessed, my voice heavy with unspoken feelings. While life may not always fulfill our desires, the bond we share, Jake, is undeniably precious, and I yearn to preserve its allure. We can navigate this journey together, but it demands a deep trust and a reverence for the unique places we hold in one another's hearts. He reclined against the wall, a subtle release of tension coursing through his body. I suppose I understand your perspective, he murmured, his voice softening, yet the pain lingers still. I understand, I whispered, my voice trembling as tears threatened to spill. But we mustn't allow this to tarnish the bond we share. We must discover a path forward, one that preserves the deep connection we've forged, even as we tread into uncharted territory. At last, he nodded, yet I sensed the whirlwind of thoughts still swirling within him. I long for the warmth of companionship, to escape the solitude that wraps around me like a shroud. I'm here, Jake, I whispered softly, intertwining my fingers with his, a gentle promise in the warmth of our shared moment. In this intricate dance we share, I promise to be your unwavering confidant, ready to embrace the chaos that life may bring. Yet, we must tread lightly, cherishing the delicate bond that intertwines our hearts. It holds a certain allure. As the night enveloped us in its embrace, a flicker of desire ignited within me. Even as the journey ahead remained shrouded in mystery, we chose to embrace this challenge side by side, entwined in a bond that felt both exhilarating and forbidden. I came to understand that love transcends mere passion. It weaves itself through the delicate threads of boundaries, profound understanding, and an unwavering commitment to the intricate bond we share as a family. I could only wish that the moment andrewed the beginning of our healing journey, even if it required us to wade through the tumultuous depths of our feelings. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this story. If it touched you, don't forget to like and subscribe to Levy Stories. Your support means the world to me and encourages me to bring more impactful, real-life stories just like this one. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next video.